Well, the
Tell
first
the homeowners
mistake,
about that.
the first mistake is they call in their claim. You can call in the claim. Every single proper policy says that you have to give written notification of loss. Did you know that? Did you know that every single property policy says that you have to give written notification of loss? And the receipt of the written, it could be email, the written notification of loss, it triggers all the time limits on the carrier. There's time limits built into the policy and built into the state insurance code. There's time limits. Those time limits are never triggered on the insurance company if you only call in the claim. So you can feel free to call in the claim, but you have to give written notification of loss.
Interesting.
99% of consumers don't know this. 95% of contractors don't know this unless I've taught them. I mean, unless you read insurance policies all day long every day, you're an insurance geek like me, you wouldn't know such a thing.
That's a fascinating fact. So the homeowner calls in a claim. Who do they ask when they call in the claim who they send their written notification to?
Well, you send it to the agent.
Just
And
send,
if you don't
they
have
send
an
it directly
agent,
to their agent.
if you don't have an agent, then you look up that insurance company and you send it to the main office.
Okay.
And you send it certified mail, return receipt requested. That green card, not an electronic return receipt, the actual physical green card, you get a green card back in the mail where they signed for it. That's your proof that you've contractually done what the contract says you're supposed to do, give written notification of loss, and that's proof. You know why the agents don't tell them, oh, by the way, you're supposed to give written notification of loss? Because it triggers the time limits on the carrier. And they don't want those time limits triggered because they want all the time in the world to be able to do what they want to do. So the time limits are in the consumer's best interest and they're in their favor. So every contractor should teach every one of their clients, have you given written notification of loss? If not, do that today by email. And then by email, then you get a return email back saying that we've received your written notification of loss.
And it's time, date stamped.
Correct.
Time starts, clock starts ticking.
All those triggers, all the time limits that the carrier is contractually obligated to be limited by.
So I know the time limits may vary and may be different, but typically what are those time limits as far as, I mean,
From
what
policy
are
to
they?
policy,
Yeah,
state to state, it's different. It may be like something like a proof of loss. They have 15 days after receiving the written notification of loss to require a proof of loss. It's a sworn statement of loss from the consumer. Once the 15 days has expired, they can no longer require it of the consumer. They can request a sworn statement of loss, but they can no longer require it because the 15 days have lapsed.
Got it.
There's an example.
Got it.